What is an artist capable of?
Everything. You know what I meant, please.
I think I'm busy today because artist.
I don't know what else to say. My name is Kylin Thomas, and I'm an artist. I went to an art high school, so it was kind of similar to how things are now at MCAD. Digital medium was very hard for me at first, but after a year working on it, it became one of my favorite mediums too. Going to this high school, I learned how to convey my feelings through art. During my childhood, some fictional characters that I looked up to, I'd say Optimus Prime from Transformers. He was very soft-spoken, and he was strong enough to be soft when it matters. A lot of my childhood, there was a lot of battle with gender norms, especially in my community that I grew up in. There's not much tolerance of anything that's very different, so trying to blend in but also be myself was a balance. Some significant real people during my childhood, definitely my grandpa. My parents had me young, so my grandpa was a really elderly parental figure for me. He taught me a lot of good life lessons. My grandpa was always the giving type and never really asked for anything back. I kind of take that with me and try to apply that to my daily life. I'm definitely more on the soft side of things. Even the way I dress, I like to express myself in different ways, and I don't want appearances to be what defines me in a way. I want my character to be what defines me, so I feel like 10-year-old me would be proud of the art that I'm making now, the progress that I've made, not even in terms of art, I guess just as a person. Something from my childhood that I could see leaving behind, I would say the insecurity in myself and seeking too much validation from others. I feel like I'm at a good place with my art, and if I really apply myself, I can be where I want to be. And to be honest, I don't know exactly where I want to be, so I'm kind of just excited to see where I can go.
My name's Makayla Smith, and I'm a fine arts major with an emphasis in photography. I took a lot of art classes during high school, almost too many to fit in my schedule. I think I learned a lot about people and caring for people and understanding others more. The neighborhood I was raised in was mainly predominantly white, so it was really hard for me to understand where I sat in a classroom and how to hang out with the other kids, or why the other kids thought I was weird. I never really felt that I fit in with most girls, but I didn't understand why, and I think that's more a race thing. I think as a child I was really interested in science-based things and research. I like to focus on using photography as a way of creating connections and new experiences, and also opening perspectives. And then also the things that people don't really see in everyday life, bringing those to terms, asking questions, and providing a space for questions to be asked, and a comfortable space. Calling myself an artist seems far-fetched. I feel a little bit detached from the word artist. I think in the future I'd like to do more research and more documentary processes. The artistic influence my mom has on me, she never really is serious about art, but she's always trying to express herself. I definitely have taken on taking pictures of random events and capturing memories and stuff like that. I feel 10-year-old me would be really proud of me right now. I'm in art school, I have an apartment, and I'm living in the city, and I'm surrounded by a lot of people who also have art senses and a lot of resources that I can use and opportunities that I can take advantage of. I think 10-year-old me would be proud of me for pursuing what I really wanted to do.
My name is Bomi Davies, and my major is 3D animation. I kind of started to gain a respect for art in high school when I took a lot of art classes, just exploring different mediums, learning about art in like more detail than I guess would have been allotted to me beforehand. I definitely had other ideas of what I wanted to be growing up in my younger days, especially like back in elementary. I know one thing I was really into was being a traveling doctor for some reason. I don't know why, but something about like the idea of like helping others while at the same time like exploring different areas was something that I was really into. Inspiring hope in others is how I want people to perceive my art. Something I find important about my childhood is just learning to communicate with different types of people. I moved around a lot in my childhood, so I definitely had to learn to communicate with people very quickly. Otherwise, you'd miss out on opportunities just being like the new kid on the block who nobody knows. And to kind of combat that is make those connections fairly easily, I'd say. I would say significant people in my childhood were my older sister. As much as we would honestly argue a lot, she definitely was someone who played a big impact on teaching me things. As my parents, they're not from America, so there was a lot of things they didn't know, so the only other person I had to turn to was my sister. Some of my childhood fears are the fear of not being successful enough, particularly probably in the terms of like financial success and just success in my career. And I would say that mainly stems from just being first an immigrant and having the idea of success be something that's always been something I needed to chase, even as like a kid. Being an artist, or at least attempting to be, has definitely been something that I think about in regards to success and how, especially in America, it's going to be a lot harder to gain success in the art field. I guess that in a sense of being the new kid always also made me an outsider, so in those areas I'm trying to find a sense of community because a big part of my Nigerian culture is that sense of community. I guess maybe something that I would, encourage or prompt anybody listening to this is just think about what a community really means and how important community is to everyone. Whether necessarily anyone feels attached to a community or not, community is definitely important, and I think a lot of people definitely need to explore that aspect of life. I think 10-year-old me would be proud of me, at the same time be a bit saddened for me as well. I would say that they'd see the progress and where I've gotten and be proud of that and know that I've kind of chosen my own path separate from how society has wanted me to be, and just like taking that journey and not being afraid to break cultural norms.
If I could give my younger self any advice,
If I could give
My younger self,
some advice,
it'd be patience is key.
pride is not the opposite of shame, but rather its source. And to really look into what it is that you found value in and understanding what that means to you.
to understand that everybody is on their own journey and following their own things, and no one really knows what they're doing. No one really has any idea of what's going on in the future because they've never been in that state. They do their little human things, and there's nothing scary about that.
My name is Kylin Thomas,
My name's Makayla Smith.
My name is Bomi Davies.
and I'm an artist.